What's up, guys? My name is MrGreen, and it's time. It is finally time for Good Kid, Mad City. This video has been in the works, and if I'm not mistaken, if that Oklahoma, whatever his new name is now, if that one timer that I saw the link of, if I'm not mistaken, I got till February 3rd, so I better hurry it up. So, Good Kid, Mad City, and kind of like the album. That right there is the vinyl. Is it redundant to have this there and that there? Maybe, but it's a different color, so I figured it balances itself out. But I'm just gonna get right into it. I am so excited to talk about this album because I love it so much. I love it. Let's just go. Sherane, a.k.a. Master Splinter's daughter, is definitely a way to open up this album. Like, we got that spacey beat with those like just echoes of just her name, and it's just wavy and entrancing. And we got the prayer to open up the whole album on it entirely, which we'll get back to later. Great verse about Kendrick Lamar, just Kendrick, I'm just gonna call him Kendrick. Just, spending his time with Sherane over the summer. And then, he's just enjoying himself, but he's also like starting to think about like the future. And then, when he goes to see her at the end, he says, two people, her cousins actually, are right there waiting for him to rough him up a little bit. So, that's, again, a great way to start off the album by the main artist getting threatened by two big looking guys. And then, it ends with our first voicemail skit by sneezing, by his mother calling him, being like, "Hey, where are you? Where you at, son? We need you back here. I need my van. I gotta go do this appointment." And then his dad is asking about dominoes. Remember the dominoes. It is the most important part of this album. I'm kidding, but it's important. So all in all, it's a pretty good start to the album. Good song, good verses. Not much of a structure in terms of choruses and hooks, but we'll have a lot of those throughout. This is just kind of an opening, just setting the scene. And let's continue to this song. This is another one with a great beat and a spacey, wavy instrumental. There's a lot of these instrumentals are very they feel almost like from outer space, or they feel like dreams, which obviously is not a mistake. And then we have some good verses from Kendrick Lamar talking about why he's just observing everyone else in the game, everyone that's below him, and all of the people that are trying to befriend him just for the fame and to say, "Oh, I'm friends with Kendrick Lamar." That's pretty good, right? We're reinforcing the themes of religion and faith and the Lord Jesus Christ throughout this whole album, which is pretty good, I won't lie. And then we have a really awesome bridge with Anna Vice and Kendrick, just going together. They're such a good duo. I'm not gonna lie, they're a great duo. I think their best is on Money Trees, which we'll get to later. But they're such a good duo. They need to make more music together. What happened to Anna Vice? Who is Anna Vice? But you know what? Doesn't matter. We have another skit at the end, because this whole song takes place after everything. It's kind of just showing this him reflecting on everything behind him. This is like Pulp Fiction. It's just told out of order, which is really confusing when it comes to albums where lyricism, where one line that you think is random actually means a whole backstory and just the life of someone. So it's just put it in order, please. It's easier for me that way. Or at least put it in reverse order so I can understand that. This one, voicemail, where his friends are like, "Hey, get in the back of the car, prepare your freestyles," which leads perfectly into, we have that awesome hard-hitting beat by Hit Boy. That man can produce like no one else. He goes I have no words. I'm left speechless by this beat because it's that awesome. Just why? You didn't need to make such a good beat, but you did. And it's awesome. And then we just have Kendrick giving these just outlandish verses and bars and references that are just, they don't feel like the things that you would be used to from Kendrick Lamar. They're just wild. There's a lot of bragging, a lot of boastfulness, and then you're like, I wonder what that could be, because I'm pretty sure this was released as a single before the rest of the album, which probably confused a lot of people. They're like, where is he going with this? Because it's always about dissecting the meaning of every word and every pause, but it's pretty it's pretty in your face and blunt about what it is. So what could it mean? What's the deeper meaning? Ladies and gentlemen, I have the deeper meaning for you. Backseat Freestyle, he's just in the back of a car with his friends, just freestyling. It's supposed to be chill. It's supposed to be dumb. It's supposed to be him hanging out with his friends. In contrast with how he really feels, like deep down inside, he's just trying to be boastful and like, oh, look how great I am. Look at how great and above I am, all of you. I'm the best, and that's what you're supposed to do in this situation. But leading into the next song, we see what his subconscious has to say, which is the first instrumental, pretty good. We got some voice effects on his voice, you know, just kind of introducing us to just what the song is going to be about, essentially, which is peer pressure, if you couldn't guess by the title. And then we got that beat switch into that really eerie, just, what's it, are they 808s? I don't know, I'm still learning things. But just a, like, oh, that just kind of catches you off guard first time you hear it. And you're just sitting there like, what's it going to be? What's gonna happen? And then he just starts going on just about the stories about like him with his friends and just like the lifestyle that they're living in. And then the first chorus, I swear it's got a reference to that guy in the Ronald Reagan era in Section 80. You know, the guy that's all like,
we really out here, my nigga. You niggas don't understand, my nigga. I'm on Pill and Remy Red, my nigga.
Like, it's like the same guy. It sounds like the same voice to me.
Yeah, nigga, we out for Pill and Remy Red. Come through and bust your head, nigga.
Maybe I'm just hearing things. I love the Ronald Reagan era too, so I'm pretty sure I wouldn't remember things like that. Similarities between the two songs, which I both love. And like, wow. Like, just about a reoccurring theme throughout this whole album is peer pressure and how he could just kind of crumble to it. So like, on the one hand, he's a good kid. He doesn't like to do drugs and like just commit violent acts on other people. But then when he's like in the situation with his friends and they're doing certain things like that, he'll go along with it. It ends with, the song ends with them breaking into a house and then getting chased by the police like that. That is not what our good kid does, but that's what the Mad City makes him do. And I think that's really great. And then the song ends with another skit with him and his friends talking about, hey, what's going to be our alibi? What are we going to do? All right, we're going to do this. We're all going to go out. We're going to go on our way. Kendrick Lamar's going to go get his van. And then he's going to go see Sherane, which we all know how that goes. And then we'll meet back up wherever at around 10:30, which is what they say. But this is another thing that's connecting the narrative, because he's also like, hey, he's going to go see Sherane. And we also already know how that goes. He gets jumped. Anyway, let us continue because we don't have all the time in the world. I hate lyricism. I really do. It's just so much. I've spent so much time just trying to condense this. I got my notes right here. I'm thinking I might just read out what I wrote down, because I mean, it's just too much. Like, I mean, first of all, great beat from, what's his name? BJ Dahi, I think. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. This is how you spell it. But like, the first verse alone, it's just him rapping about like the break-in at the end of The Art of Peer Pressure, and then him wanting to have like, you know, the sexual experiences that one has or talks about as a famous rapper, but he's not thinking about like HIV and like, you know, diseases and he might contract from all of this, and then eventually him or others might experience those, you know, repercussions. And then there's also things about living that gangster lifestyle that he's around in this mad city. Like, oh my God, this is like, I didn't understand any of this when I was first listening to the song. I was like, I really like this song. It sounds great. I like this part and this part. And I was like, I think I'm getting it. Read all this. I'm nothing. I'm an ignorant baby. That's, I mean, that's just what he does to you. The chorus is awesome about, you know, money not growing on trees, you know, Halle Berry or Hallelujah, your desires versus what is probably best. It's all great. The second verse is literally just, I couldn't even try. It's just too much. Like, you need to go do your own research. If you like this album or like any of the songs, or if you even just want to know what like the story is, then you better do your research. And then, you know, we have another great refrain from m.A.A.d, you know. She's got a pretty good voice. It's a unique voice. And then J-Rock just comes in with this song-stealing verse. It's hard to steal a song from Kendrick Lamar, but he finds a way, and he is awesome. Just rapping about just his lifestyle, his experiences, just everything he's been through. Oh my God, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Great stuff. I have no more words. Well, actually, I have a few more words, which is a skit at the end, which goes back to the dominoes. His dad still, I mean, they're all like, he still doesn't care about no dominoes anymore. And he's like, wait, dominoes. I want my dominoes. I might spoil what happens with the dominoes later. We'll see. We'll see how revealing I'm feeling, if I'm feeling nice to you guys. But, you know, I love this song so much. I love all of these songs. So I'm just going to continue to the next one. Like, even the sample of the beat has like all kinds of meaning with the Janet Jackson refrain, and it's song's called Poetic Justice. If you didn't know, Janet Jackson and Tupac Shakur had that movie Poetic Justice. You should totally watch it. It's awesome. But this is a vibe. This is a romantic vibe, you know, until you know the lyricism, and then you're like, oh my god, this is messed up. But it's just, you know, the first verse is Kendrick, you know, kind of just writing, you know, a little love poem to Sherane, you know, how much he likes her, how much he like appreciates her, and just, you know, how much he enjoys the relationship. But he's also questioning where to go from there. We have a pretty good feature from Aubrey Drake Graham himself. You know, didn't see that coming. I was kind of dreading that when I was first reacting to this, but you know what? He got there. He was pretty good. But this time he's rapping about this one person in his life. I totally forgot her name. And this, you know, like how he kind of built her up and then she kind of jetted away. And I'm like, huh, even Drake has to put some kind of ridiculous, like, lyricism in here that I need to read and do a bunch of just research about. Because God forbid you make my life easy. But you know what? I'm doing this for you guys. I'm putting in the work for you because I also enjoy this, and I want to talk about Kendrick Lamar because I love him now, and I still haven't listened to Damn. But let us move on to the skit at the end. This time, we hear Sherane's cousins interrogating Kendrick Lamar, asking where he is from, which is not exactly the most comforting question to receive in these situations. I'd also like to point out that the last verse of Kendrick's ended with him asking Sherane if he can trust her, which, as you can tell, he clearly cannot. But he gets interrogated. Probably doesn't end well, but we're going to have to see when we continue. Let's move on. I'd also like to quickly mention that the single art is awesome, hence why I've had it up there. I don't know why, I just really like it. Maybe it's because it's Poetic Justice, the movie. But, well then, let's move on. Pharrell is like the ghost of hip-hop. Like, you think, like, he's not there. And then all of a sudden you find out, oh my god, that's Pharrell. That's Pharrell. That's Happy. That's that dude. It's Pharrell. But you know, he can sing. He's got a voice. I love this beat like he made. This feels like what I imagine a dream would sound like, along with one other one that kind of sounds like a dream. Oh, it's just so like, ooh. Like, that's essentially all I have to say. I mean, those aren't words, those are sounds and movements I made, but that's about the best way I can describe it, to be honest. There's no better way to describe it. It's just dreamlike, and then his singing, just accompanying the beat, it's just so like, it feels like, this is gonna be a weird comparison, but it almost reminds me of Silk Sonic. I don't know why, but it just kind of does. Like, if you get it, let me know. I don't even get it, and I'm the one making the connection. But anyway, let me continue to the rest of the song. The verses, you know, pretty awesome verses about him talking. The first verse, at least, it's about him talking about gang affiliation, about him personally. Since he's not affiliated with anybody, he's kind of made an easy target, which is contrary to what he said in the Ronald Reagan era, which is like, oh, we're all good. Like, you know, I'm not affiliated with anyone. I'm everybody's friend, which is a dream. I just hit this. Let me get rid of that. No need distractions. But in this song, he's saying that I'm not affiliated with anyone, which means I'm all on my own. I'm an easy target. So that's not great. Second verse is about him showing how he feels about the police. And then, you know, how they felt after he got jumped by Sherane's cousins, which is interesting. Will it be revisited again? No, it will not. But, you know, that's how it goes. So the third verse about, you know, drugs being sold to children, naturally. Because, you know, that happens. And he's talking about it. This is just him talking about all the experiences, the good, the bad, and the worst. So let me just continue to the next song. We had the good kid. We had the Mad City. Actually, no, we're at the Mad City right now. Oh my god. Oh my god. I died when I heard this. I hit the ceiling. if you may recall. If the VOD can post, then you'll be able to see that. Because I just leaped up into the air with the sweet relief of not having to not hear this anymore, because I was aware of the beat drop, but I was avoiding it so I could just give myself as raw of a reaction. And then I leaped and hit the ceiling. Because that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you're just so hyped you hit the ceiling. That's just how it is. Wow. This song is incredible. Schoolboy Q, it's got some ad-libs. Yeah, 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 yeah. Best ad-libs in the game. Soundwave made an incredible first beat. It's iconic. It's perfect in every way. You have that amazing intro and kind of a chorus too, where it's like, man down, where are you from? Which is supposed to be Sharane's cousins asking him, but Kendrick's got the voice effects on him, so he sounds like a different person, which is what he's intentionally trying to do, so he can, pretend to be their cousins, which is really interesting, just like the rest of this. The first verse is just him talking about his experiences again, traumatic experiences, not the pleasant ones, not the ones one would like to remember. And it's just executed amazingly. It goes, like, you can go crazy to this song. You can just lose your mind and just go berserk just listening to this song, because it's that just hype. But this is like something I love about Kendrick Lamar. He can make music that's just sonically pleasing and you can listen to whenever, but has all kinds of deep meanings. He can make a storytime song, but one that's like, you can, go crazy to. But on like the other hand, other people can make a storytime song that you listen to, get the story, get sad, and then never want to hear it again because it made you sad. So that's what I appreciate about him. He makes listenable story songs. And then we have a beat switch. And this next beat is handled by the man Terrence Martin. He's back from Section 80. That guy can play the saxophone like no one else, and now here he is, providing us another beat, great beat. And this time, we have an MC.A.A.d feature. Who is MC.A.A.d? I know he's like a OG. He's been around for a while. He's been doing his thing. It's about the extent that I know about him. That's about his experiences with like being affiliated with gangs and stuff like that. And then it's also got a second verse from Kendrick Lamar talking about his first drug experience and how bad that went. And also feeling manipulated by the gangs in Compton. Kendrick, a.k.a. Compton's human sacrifice. And then we have a final verse from Kendrick talking about the skeletons he may or may not have in his closet, which is a bit unsettling. And he mentions similar things that he talked about in Section 80, specifics that is. And then, his voice just keeps getting, it starts off manipulated, and it just gets higher and higher and higher and higher and higher as the verse continues. Wow. Wow. Okay. Amazing. Really well done. And then we have another outro skit, which is Kendrick's friends. They got him after, Sharane's cousins roughed him up. And they're like, oh no, here, drink this. And then, this is after getting beaten up, after the art of peer pressure and the breaking and entering. And this could also very well be the near-death experience he referenced on Average Joe and Overly Dedicated, because I did hear that. Just not reviewing it because it's a mixtape, and I'm not reviewing all the mixtapes. I don't have that kind of time or energy. If you want me to, I will, one day in the future. But, best song ever. Swimming Pool Strength. This one was most definitely a single. And probably one of the biggest songs of the album. I think it is the biggest. We have that great beat from T-Minus, I believe. This one just feels like I'm underwater, and it's so wavy, and it feels like I'm just floating in the air, just whoa. Which is also kind of what the chorus does, because that deep voice going like, pour up, drink, it messes with your head. And then, we have a good verses about Kendrick Lamar talking about alcoholism, that he is surrounded by alcoholism as a child, and how he's just like viewing the adults and their, what they're doing with alcohol. And then this little fantasy kind of, or more kind of like vision that he sees of them becomes his reality. Kind of end quote. Kind of quoting that. But great sounding chorus. I love this chorus so much. It's just so catchy, and it gets the point across. I love the Baywatch line, but like, he makes such sonically pleasing like songs and choruses. but they have so much meaning behind them. Like, I don't get how he does it. I really don't. Like, I hate smart people because this is like smart, and it results in me having to do a bunch of just research. And then we have the second verse where he's like literally his own conscious talking to himself and being like, "Hey, stop this. You're sick. You're going to die of alcohol poisoning." But his like brain is like, "Hey, everyone else is doing more. I don't want to like stand out. I don't want to be a wuss. So I'm just gonna go along. I'm gonna keep doing more. I'm gonna do as much as they do, and that's bad. That is peer pressure. Avoid peer pressure at all costs. It's bad." Then on the album, it is the extended version, which has a beat switch with the Sherane sounds again, which is what he's thinking of. And then this is literally just, he's drunk, he's in the back of a car with his friends, he's like thinking about everything that's going wrong, he throws up, his friends laugh at him, you know, haha, you threw up, can't hold your liquor. Then the song gets sad when they find Shirane's cousins, and maybe Sherane, I'm not sure, and they're like, "Hey, let's get him." And they shoot him. They kill her cousins. I don't know if they kill her. I don't know if she's there. But if she wasn't, she's most definitely dead. Unfortunately, Kendrick's friend Dave gets hit and he dies. I am not sure if this is a real person. I think it is. And it's sad. And then it leads into the next song, which is most definitely the hardest one I had to write down because it's 12 minutes. Simple but effective beat. I have no complaints for Sing About Me, at least. Then I love the chorus, just, you know, when the lights shut off and it's my turn to settle down, my main concern, promise that you will sing about me, promise that you will sing about me. I have the similar sentiment, you know, I hope I'm sung about. And in the first verse, the reason why people praise the song so much is that the first two verses are told from other people's perspectives. This first one is by Dave's brother, talking to Kendrick about, "Hey, like, I love you, I appreciate you, we're my good friends," but he's also like still a part of the lifestyle. And then, you know, he appreciates everything Kendrick does and like did for his brother. And then, you know, the song ends with like, you know, he's talking about his regrets. And then it's like sing about me when you make it big, and if I die before your album drops, and then you hear gunshots, presumably meaning this man is dead, which is heartbreaking. This is a very heartbreaking album. And then we have the second verse, which is not something I'd expect to hear because it's still from the perspective of Keisha's sister. Keisha is from Section 80, from that one song that I do not want to spoil because it's really sad. Unlike Dave's brother, she is like, I do not want you singing about my sister. You know nothing about that. You are ignorant. This is something that I am proud to do. And then she's like, I'm gonna make it out of here. Like, I'm better than all of these people. Like, I will never fade away. And as she says that, her voice begins to fade away because she is slowly just tossed into the line of other people that have fallen into the same mistakes that she has and presumably dying from HIV. Some crazy lyricism he gets that across. Something with the line about the did I mention that I physically feel great? A doctor's approvals, I don't need that. I know I'm straight, or something along those lines. And, you know, that's sad. And, you know, I kind of was like, don't sing about you, haha, I'm gonna do that anyway. Because your story needs to be told and it's important. It's a good learning lesson. Like, come on. Like, how does he do it? How does he do it? Like, how does he realistically do it? This is amazing. I love this song. And I can still listen to it. It's 12 minutes and I listen to it quite often. And then, you know, in the third verse about Kendrick Lamar, you know, he's talking about coming to terms with everything that's happened. The next two songs are really just kind of about reflection. About like him reflecting over everything that's happened. And he's like, hey, I'm gonna sing about you. Like, I loved you all. I did my best to help you all. Just sing about me when I'm gone. Have I done anything to make amends for what I've done? And it's just, oh my God. I was reading about like the annotations and it just kept going. I started like to just, you know, tear up a little bit. They never left my eye, but they were there. Then we have just that kind of singing like bridge in between. I don't know who that is. I looked it up. No one knows, I guess. And then we transition into Dying of Thirst. And then this is just, oh, don't forget the skit. The skit about everyone just reacting to Dave's death. And they're like, this sucks. Then we have the beat switch to Dying of Thirst. And there's 5 verses. And just is going about so much, just like spiritual reflection, just like, you know, things about like looking at like the dead and everyone that he's lost. There is literally a line that is like from Jesus when he was on the cross, and like the last words he said, like, why would you do this to me? I don't have this kind of time, Kendrick Lamar. I'm sorry, I did my best. And then, yeah, we have the skit at the end, which is like the old woman who we learn is his neighbor is like, hey, you are all dying of thirst, which means you need the blood of Jesus. You need to be rebaptized, essentially. And they have this really nice prayer, which was at the beginning of Sherane. And then it's just a really nice prayer. Like, you know, again, first reaction to it, I just kind of went along, and then I said, what she told me to say. And then she said, this is the start of your new life, your real life. As she rebaptizes them, which leads into the next song, Real. But before, like, normally I just cut to the thing, but I just want to say I love this song so much. Go get this album. Listen to it on whatever you can. Like, or if you don't like listening to hip hop, just read everything. Just read the lyrics and the annotations. Just read it. You like reading, don't you? A nice and simple chorus from Kendrick and Ice. Again, such a great duo. They need to make more stuff together. And, you know, I'm real, I'm really, really real. Which goes back to the end of the last song. And the last line of the chorus just ties it all together. And not the first time they sing the chorus, the rest of the times. Terrence, the main man Terrence, is back with another fire beat. I love you, Terrence Martin. I'm your biggest fan. I decided. First verse, he talks about the desires of a woman that he attracts, which is, you know, interesting. Second verse, he talks about all of his homies and all of his friends and like what they want in the immediate, but that they need to look past that, like look past the immediate and learn to love themselves. Amazing third verse where he talks about how much he loves the people around him, and you know, he needs to properly love himself too, because he can't love everyone else like without loving himself, like, you know, more. You gotta love yourself before you can love everyone else. And you also need to break out of the peer pressure, because peer pressure is bad, which you've also learned. We have a skit with his dad calling him and telling him he doesn't care about the dominoes anymore. We have gotten a resolution to the domino arc, ladies and gentlemen. And he's just saying you need to get out of here. Like a real guy, a real man, like, isn't the ones that kill people. They're the ones that like are responsible for other people, that take care of everyone else, that like put the others' needs before them. And it's not about like killing and just gang affiliation. That's bad. And he also apologizes. He says, I'm sorry for Dave's death. It's so right here. Then the next two skits, it's his mom essentially telling him the same thing, to be an inspiration to black and brown kids, like just around the world, around the country really, around Compton really even, but not around the world. I mean, he can be though. Just, you know, you can be better. You can be whatever you want to be. You don't like it. You're not defined by your circumstances. And she also says that she got a call from Top Dog Entertainment saying that they want him and Dave Free, not this Dave Free, his manager, old manager, to come down to the studio. And this is like where it all just kind of beautifully comes together in the whole short film aspect. We have Top Dog Entertainment calling, and this is his decision. He can either stay where he is, or he can go, and he can become Kendrick Lamar, the rapper, become what he was always meant to be, what he always wanted to be. And he chooses to go to Top Dog Entertainment and record, and then you hear this cassette tape player like kind of stop and run out, signaling that this is the end of the Sherane story, and that is done. Then we are led into the final song, which is... This is a glamorous, celebratory song showing that he's made it out. This is like the end credit song. Like, I've made it. I've won the big competition, and this is my success story. Look at me. I'm Kendrick Lamar. I started on all of this bad stuff, and now here I am making a song with Dr. Dre. And I love it. Like, a large percent of it is because I just love the meaning, but I also really love the song. Dre and Kendrick just have such great chemistry. You know how much I love Dre. I mean, clearly you do. Video. Like, they'll load in eventually. Or is it up there? No, it's up there. No, it's up there. Yeah, it's up there. Okay. Video. Just this great Just Blaze beat. You know, they're just giving love to California, saying that they can go like to the top of the game, to the top of everything, but they will never forget their roots, which is important. Never forget your roots, everybody. If you forget where you came from, where you started, that's how you become arrogant and ignorant and just egotistical. And no one likes egotistical people, especially me. I hate egotistical people. But yeah, Compton got a great talk box outro. You gotta love it. But it's just such a celebratory song. And it was released as a single, single cover art out there, up there, that is. And it's just really like, it's a celebratory, like, this is like the end credits, because this whole thing is like a movie. It's like a short film, just showing the experiences of this guy, and then here we are at the end credits, celebrating how far he's come, and then he made it out. And then the album ends with him making that, and that phone call, like him telling his mother, hey, I'm gonna take the van for a few minutes, I'll be back in 15 minutes. That's how it all began, and voila, it is over. This album is amazing. It's incredible. And I'm not even sure if it's the best one. I need to re-listen to Tip of a Butterfly because that was awesome too. But as it sits, this is a masterpiece. I'm really considering whether I like this more than The Chronic because I literally just started and I can't already have my favorite album become my second or maybe third favorite. Kendrick is a master of his craft. He's in my top 3. And yeah, it would feel wrong if I didn't just give this album a 10. It would be wrong if I didn't give this album a 10. Because it's just amazing. I have the vinyl. I love it so much. I'm going to go listen to it again because it's just a masterful work of art. And that is all I have to say. I have talked about this album, everything that I love. Did I say any flaws? No, because I don't have any. Oh my God, wow. This was an experience, and I would like to thank you all for allowing me to do it. Anyway, this has been me. Subscribe, like the video, share it, follow my Twitch. I'm going to stream the reaction to Damn at some point. And I'm going to go lie down. Thank you, and good morning, because it's the morning. Good morning.